everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Heather Dewey Pettit, and this is one of those streams where I talk about the con that that I'm affiliated with, and I include an interview. So here's my friend, Elizabeth Schecter. If you wanted to, usually I start with some tidbits about Necronomicon, and then we can go into the full thing. But if you wanted to say a quick hi, you can do that.
Hello, everyone. And thank you for welcoming me into the virtual living room. And let you get all of your regular housekeeping out of the way, and then we'll have some fun.
Okay, that sounds good. So, so I think I'm pretty sure this is volume 5. If I'm incorrect, this is volume 6, but I know it's not 4. So I've interviewed, I've had some of these since March, I do believe. So, excuse me, I've had a little bit of a throat issue. Pardon me for one moment.
Drink.
A little bit of tea with lemon and honey. Hopefully that'll help. Okay. So, for any of you who is new to my channel, so hi, I'm Heather Dewey Pettit. I'm a writer, editor, and artist. But this is a special stream where I talk about, as I said earlier, Necronomicon Tampa, and so let's see. So Necronomicon Tampa is the Southeast longest running fan-run sci-fi convention, and it has been running essentially since 1982, and it was founded by the Stonehill Sci-Fi Club in 1979, and so it has a long history. It's in its 44th year.
That sounds about right.
Yes, because I'm thinking of the one that was 42. It's a special one.
Yeah, 42 was a fun year.
Here's a hint. Anybody wants to know about that? Okay. I also wanted to see if my Mac would go off, but maybe not. Anyway, it does that thing. So I will be popping a link in the chat momentarily, but essentially Necronomicon Tampa is also a nonprofit con, and because it's run by a nonprofit organization. And then another interesting aspect of it is that it is run. We also raise funds for charity, and the charity that has gotten the most love, for at least 11 years, I think, is called Kids and Canines, and I can pop a link to that in the chat too. And they do a lot with children, and they rescue dogs, and they're trained to be service animals, essentially. So yeah, really love that aspect about it. So let's see. One thing I was wanting to talk about, let's see, is let's see. So we have for theme this year is cryptids. This is becoming a really popular topic, though, in recent years. And so I thought that was a good idea to go ahead and do that, to have that as a theme.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have an update on the guest list. Currently, the the guests of honor are Shannon McGuire, who is an American author. I'm just going to read her bio super quick. Is an American author and filker. McGuire is known for her urban fantasy novels. She uses the pseudonym Myra Grant to write science fiction horror, and the pseudonym A. Deborah Baker to write the Up and Under Children's Portal fantasy series, which sounds really intriguing to me. The bio we have goes on. She's won at least a few awards, including a Nebula and Hugo and a Locus Award. My goodness. So, wow, are we lucky to have her, huh?
Yeah, I've talked to her online, and she is absolutely a lovely person.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. That's great. Yeah, so I'm that's great, because that does help folks who may be a little bit nervous about meeting somebody who, say, has won so many awards or whatever, whether they're a writer or just a reader. And then also we have a recurrent, whatever I'm trying to say. Sorry.
A regular. We have a regular.
He's a regular. He's definitely a regular.
Family.
Honor is the absolutely amazing Timothy Zahn, who's a science fiction author who's best known for his work on the Thrawn trilogy. I have one of those. I have it's right here. Which I actually bought directly from him. It's signed copy. So yes, so that's the series of novels following the events of Return of the Jedi, introducing characters like Grand Admiral Thrawn and Mara Jade Skywalker. So in addition to numerous short stories, he also wrote other novels focusing on Thrawn's characters, such as Outbound Flight and Hand of Thrawn duology in the Star Wars Legends continuity, and the Thrawn and the Ascendancy trilogy. Okay, anyway, lots of canon-based stuff as well. So that's really cool. So if you're not aware, or not if you're not aware, but so you might be gathering that that our we have a literary bent. It's a con with a literary bent, and that's how we've been describing Necronomicon Tampa. Other guests this year include Kevin A. Davis, Perry F. Bruns, who I interviewed last, and no, not last, but prior to that, excuse me, who is an author and also a voice actor. We have Mr. Richard Lee Byers, who I interviewed last month, actually, and really looking forward to seeing him in person again, because he's just such a pleasant person to talk to. Really nice guy. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
So others that are definite confirmed, including this lovely lady here, is Kat Heckenbach, who is a local author as well. Most of the rest of what I'm talking about now are local, like Perry F. Bruns. Kevin A. Davis does live in Atlanta, I do believe. Am I correct in that?
I don't recall. I don't remember talking to him about where he lives.
But I know that he's heavily involved in Multiverse Atlanta. So I do believe so. But anyway, I'm just drawing a conclusion there. So another local author is Kat Heckenbach. And I met her years ago when I was working on a novel. And we kind of hit it off. And we met through the FWA. Elizabeth, I'm sorry, you want me to call you Elizabeth or Liz?
Most of the time when I'm out doing professional stuff, people call me Elizabeth, but I've known you long enough that you get to call me Liz.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I've heard it used uh, for you. So anyway, so Kat is a sci-fi and fantasy author. She's also a great multimedia artist. Um, she does a lot of different things and lots of really cool stuff. And she's going to be on my next one. And also a quick thing is that I'm planning and hoping to have multiple actual streams like this in September leading up to Necronomicon Tampa. So there's that. There's that little bit of news too. Also, which I did want to mention, we have a Vito Pandolfo. He's an industry guest for gaming. And so, which kind of leads into this. We're kind of famous for our gaming, I guess, huh? There are multiple rooms in the plural that have been used in the past for the number of tabletop gaming and everything else that is involved in that. Because there are also electronic gaming. Am I wrong?
There's electronic gaming.
Right.
I know they've done Jackbox. They've done all sorts of that. See, that's my son's thing. When we go to the convention, is he's all into the games. So they've done tabletop games. They've done board games, electronic gaming. There was supposed to be art last year, but I think they all wound up in getting mobilized because they were all National Guard, and the convention was the week after Milton.
Yes, it was.
But usually there's LARPing.
It is very interesting. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting.
No, but usually there's LARPing when there's not a hurricane.
Right. When there's not a hurricane. Yeah, we're in Florida. Tampa Bay, Florida, to be specific. But yeah, that was interesting last year. And another industry guest, real quick. This is these last two are new to me. I think they're new to Necronomicon, but I could be wrong. So there's that man, and then there's a couple. They're Chuck and Carolina Morongiello. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So they're an industry guest all about filmmaking.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is great because I know that in the Tampa Bay area, basically we're home to a lot of different types of artists and have for a while, for a good long time. But that's one thing that's sort of big here is filmmaking. So I know a handful of screenwriters. So yeah. So that's very cool. Sometimes we do have like a short little film festival. Oh yes, and another person we've had the last few years in a row, I guess, is I think it's pronounced okay. So Betty, is it Genesis or Genesis? I'm not quite
I'd
sure
have to be looking at it.
I gotta look it up.
I'd have to be looking at it, and I don't want to butcher it, so I'm not even going to try.
I'll find out. And she's called the Matron of the Macabre. And so she's a singer and a dancer, and she's also, when I looked her up, she does dance classes and various types of classes, various types of adult style dancing, burlesque.
Didn't she do the burlesque class last year? There was a burlesque
yes.
panel? Yeah.
Right.
I think I had something against it, so that's why I didn't go. I was on another panel somewhere else.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So this is the last weekend of September. And it's being held the last weekend of September, and it will be at the Embassy Suites at Tampa, USF. I do believe is the name of the hotel specifically, and Embassy Suites by Hilton, Tampa, USF, and that is quite near the main. Very, very near the main drag, the main entrance of the Tampa campus of a USF. USF Tampa. Let's see, campus. Okay. So let me. I'm poking around the website to look for prompts. Okay. So some things. Actually, we were talking about gaming earlier. Here's something that's new at Necro. There's a couple of games that are new to their library, or I should say our library of games. And it says we've started to get in some of the games from our wonderful sponsors. And this batch just came in from Stonemaier, not quite sure, games. So they sent us Tokaido and Between Two Castles.
I've heard of Tokaido. I haven't heard. I couldn't tell you anything specific about it, but I've heard of it.
Tokaido, but I'm not much of a gamer, so I would like to get back into board games. It's been a hot minute. So yeah. Let me see if there's anything else about this. Yes, there is. So let's see. So they will be available in the game library of Necronomicon Tampa 2025. It says possibly even as play to win.
Ooh.
Interesting. So it says Between Two Castles is a tile drafting and placement board game where players work with their neighbors to design two castles simultaneously, aiming to have the best scoring castle. Players choose room tiles and place them in their castles according to scoring and adjacency, there we go, rules, balancing the development of both castles to maximize their final score, which is determined by the lower scoring castle. Interesting. And Tokaido is a board game where players are travelers journeying along the famous Tokaido Road in Japan. Okay, aiming to have the most fulfilling and enriching experience. Players move along a linear path, visiting various locations like hot springs, shops, temples, and scenic panoramas, collecting souvenirs, enjoying meals, and encountering unique experiences. The game emphasizes strategic movement and set collection. Okay, with players trying to maximize their points by experiencing a variety of activities and interactions. The game ends when all players reach the final destination and the traveler with the most points wins. That sounds interesting. Mm-hmm. Fascinating. So we have a sponsor, and I want to say Stonemaier, Maier. So, okay, so that's a little bit of news as well. Nice to get something new for the gamers.
Mm-hmm.
To the extensive collection. I've seen it. I was at Southern Media Con, which is the other event. I had Deborah Hicks here talking about that over the summer, and that was nice. I learned a lot already, things that I hadn't, really heard about, and so this is something new as well to me. So fascinating stuff. Let's see. So yes, we were talking about other things like filking. Apparently there will be LARP, which is for the uninitiated. Even I know about this. live action role play, and so there's at least a couple of opportunities here. We have Our World of Darkness presents Vampire the Masquerade. I know this is a big deal. I know
That's
people
the
who
big
play
one, yeah.
it. I've watched people play it a couple times, like on YouTube. I have a friend who has come to Necronomicon before, Miss Sako Toomey, my friend, and I know she loves it. She loves playing it.
It's been a minute, but I used to do Mind's Eye Theater and the Vampire the Masquerade LARP, but that was dinosaurs ruled the world. But okay.
There's a lot of information about this on the website. Let me pop that in while I'm thinking about it. I did. Let me make sure I did that correctly. I can't be, that doesn't look right. One moment, let me try that again. All right. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes. And by the way, I'm also multi-streaming to Twitch.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have streamed on Twitch in the past, and I started doing it again just recently. As I knew quite a few folks who were on Twitch who just to do productivity sprints or whatever, or they game just to watch and just kind of hang out kind of thing. So yeah, I know lots of people who game, but I don't really do. Just don't have the opportunity. Let's see. So there she blows. There is the website, necrofl.org. If anybody wants to check any of that out. Let's see. And then actually, maybe real quick, just the badges. The badges are very inexpensive, really honestly, compared to a lot of other cons. They are currently only $60 through the end of this month. And then starting on September 1st, they'll go up to $70. And that's for the entire weekend, folks. So, and they'll be $70 at the door. But single day memberships are $35 for Friday, $35 for Saturday, and $25 for Sunday. So yeah, I know that the t-shirt design contest was finished, was wrapped up, and I did see one in the group, at least one in the group.
I didn't see it yet. I'm going to be surprised when we get there.
It's really cute. It's really cute. I'll say that.
It's the Facebook decided I didn't need to see it.
You'll laugh.
I'll have to go look.
Whenever you want.
Not now. Now we're busy.
Anyway, so yeah, highly recommend. It's a chill con. Am I right?
It's a relaxicon. It's a very familial environment. It's good, it's good to catch up with people, see people you haven't seen in maybe a year, especially since I live on the other side of Florida from the rest of y'all. So, and just have fun.
Right, exactly. And I remember the first time I went, as an adult, I should say, and this was in 2014, and I was very to be honest, I'm an introvert, as a lot of creatives tend to be, and I really didn't know what to expect. And then I ran into a bunch of people I knew, so I was like, oh, okay, and then I was fine after that. So, yeah, actually, the first person I saw actually was Michael Hinman. If you remember, I don't know how long have you been coming, but
I was just trying to figure that out. And
he
I
started
want to say it was
Airlock Alpha.
2018, 2019. We were still in the airport, in the hotel by the airport.
Uh-huh.
So it was 2018, 2019, I think.
Wait, 2018, that was the first year I started being on panels. No, we had just changed. It was just moved. I remember. It was just moved to the Holiday Inn, West Shore.
Is that the one by the airport?
Well, it's still by the airport, yeah. But the other one was on the Tampa side of the bridge that goes to into Clearwater.
We have never been over the bridge, so that'll tell you, how long I've been going to Necro. I have never been over the bridge.
It's been a while. It's not as unpleasant as some bridges around here. Let's just say that. But
the worst bridge I think I've ever been over was the Chesapeake Bay Bridge in Annapolis, and it's very high and very long, and they actually have police stationed on either side who will, two of them in the car, one of them will get in the car with you and will drive across the bridge while the other one follows if you are too scared to drive it yourself.
Wow. Well, they need that here, especially for the Bayside Bridge, which I actually drove over once and back. I'm amazed I did that at all. Who am I? I've not done it since because I was like.
Now, my favorite one to drive over is the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, which is like 13 miles. It's a bridge, it's a tunnel, it's a bridge, it's a tunnel, it's a bridge. That one's so fun. It's so much fun. There's actually a rest stop where one of the bridges goes into the tunnel. There's a rest stop with a restaurant.
Okay.
So you could stop like halfway through and have lunch.
Wait, what? I had to take that in. Interesting. It's a good idea. Some people
it's like 13 miles of bridge and tunnel. There needs to be a place to stop because if you're driving with kids, someone's going to need a pit stop in the middle.
Oh my gosh, I would have the worst panic attack ever. I don't think I've ever driven through a tunnel, but anyway, that was fun. But that gives us a good maybe segue to start to do another intro with you, essentially, if you'd like to talk to us about you and all of that. And then we'll get into our favorite subject.
All right. Well, hello to everyone. I am Elizabeth Schecter, and I write speculative romance, which science fiction romance, paranormal romance, steampunk, romantasy. I have been writing romantasy since before romantasy was even a word. Fantasy romance, weird westerns. Yep, that's one of mine. That's actually one of the milder ones. My work has its own personal Scoville scale, and it starts written in waters is on the mild side, and it goes all the way up to ghost pepper. And my table is always set up so that way as you go across, the books get hotter. I've been writing. I've made my first novel sale in 2009. Before that, I was writing erotic short fiction. And I just finished book number 24 last week.
Wow. Boy, you and Richard Lee Byers, Not worthy. But yeah. Now I've written a lot of nonfiction, so maybe I'm just a little more comfortable doing that. But I have had some ideas, and that's how I started meeting. That's how I met Kat Heckenbach. I was doing some stuff with Florida Writers Association, so. I was exploring this idea I had, and which sometimes I go back to. We'll see.
I have like a cast of thousands in my head, and writing is a socially acceptable way of dealing with all of the voices. So,
and it's also a socially acceptable way of talking to the people in your head. A lot of people have said that. Yeah, so I still think about these characters. So.
Oh yeah.
I would like to go back to it. I know I do. Sometimes I think, why am I torturing myself? And then I think, oh, I know why. Because I do still like to tell stories. But I also like to tell stories through nonfiction as well. So, and real quick, I did write a Substack about this, and I can pop that in here when I get a chance. Oh, I just got a weird email about it. I don't know what that is. Oh, I'll figure that out later. But anyway, so let's see. So in the description of this live stream, I do mention this is this series, The Heir to the Firstborn. Would you like to explain the basis of that real quick before we get into anything else?
Part of The Heir to the Firstborn was, I called it my stunt writing. I wanted to do something that was outside my wheelhouse, because when I started that one, I was writing all erotic. Everything was, explicit sex on the page. I wanted to do something different. And I wanted to try serial writing. So, Heir to the Firstborn was on my Patreon once a week, every week, for 4 years. I was posting a new chapter.
Wow.
And Patreon's...
I saw that on your website.
Mm-hmm. And Patreon's terms of service, if you write, you could write explicit on Patreon, but then you wouldn't show up in their search. They will dungeon it. So I decided it was going to be Fade to Black. And it started, let me think.
Okay.
I want to say August 2018. And the last book, Valley of Shadows, came out a year ago in January.
Okay.
But in this, the first thing that I wrote was the creation myth that tells who these people are and where they came from, and how each of these races was created from the dreams of the mother goddess.
Okay. Dreams.
And these races are elemental based. And if you think that it's difficult to write a series of books with elemental based tribes and not have it sound like Avatar: The Last Airbender, you have much to go on. But the water clans are merfolk, and they are shapeshifters. So they will walk on two legs when they're on their canoes or when they're on land, but under salt water, and that's important. That has to be salt water. They will transform and be merfolk, and they gain their tails and they lose their voices. So if they are underwater, they cannot speak.
Kind of observing. I'm still only in the first. Past the prologue and then in the first chapter.
Mm-hmm.
So
this actually becomes a major plot point as we go further into the books.
Interesting.
Because they do have a sign language that they use when they're underwater.
Okay. Very
And
interesting.
that sign language, the water signs, become a plot point later on. And I had a lot of fun with coming up with that, because in American Sign Language, part of your grammar is head position. If I sign something to you and my head is straight, that is or this is how I was taught by an interpreter. If you're looking someone straight on and you sign something, it's a statement. But if you tip your head, it's a question.
Makes perfect sense.
I have a friend who's a sign language interpreter for the Library of Congress, and I learned stuff from him. But in this series, we have the Firstborn is divinely chosen to rule the 4 tribes, and they have a representative from each tribe to speak for their tribe. So there's a companion from the water tribe, a companion from the air tribe. The air tribe all have wings, by the way. A companion from the air tribe, a companion from earth, and a companion from fire. These companions may or not become lovers. This is it is a polyamorous society. So the tribes live in peace until someone is passed over by the mother. The son of the previous firstborn is passed over, and decides that the mother is wrong, and he is supposed to be the firstborn, and he takes matters into his own hands and kills the firstborn and the heir, they think, and the heir's companions escape, and that all happens in the prologue. And then we come back 25 years later with the child of 2 of those companions. They discover a ship, a derelict ship, out floating near their island, because he's water tribe. And on that ship is the daughter of the previous heir, who is the new firstborn, or the new heir to the firstborn. She's not firstborn yet. She has to earn her stripes. But so we have a chosen one and her fated mates on an epic quest. Let's hit all the tropes there. Yeah. And it is most definitely why choose.
Well, sometimes you gotta. I've heard.
But I had a lot of fun. Like I said, it ate my brain for 4 years. I love the series. I love the characters. The absolute favorite character I have ever created shows up about halfway through the first book and attempts to take over every scene he's in, and that's Owen. Owen is the new fire companion, and he is a blacksmith. He is a visionary. He's a smoke dancer, so he can see the future. He's precognition and clairvoyance.
Okay.
And he is just my absolute favorite character who's ever walked out of my subconscious.
Love that.
But the series of 7 books, the first 6 books follows Arya, who is the heir to the firstborn, and her companions as they secure her rule and then go on the ritually required progress, which basically takes them out of the safety of the castle and all the way through their world to meet the people, show them that there is a new heir or a new firstborn, and it ends up at the temple in the mountains where she will be given the crown. But stuff happens all along the way. And I thought book 6 was going to be the end of it. I thought I was done. And then a character walked out of my brain and went, "You're not finished. Where's my book?" And that wound up being one of the companions in the final book, which follows the children that are born during the course of book 6. So we have basically it's the first generation and the second generation.
Okay.
But as I'm writing it, I'm realizing, boy, I did leave an awful lot of loose threads that needed to be tied off. So maybe he was right to come and bug me for this book, because I needed to finish stuff.
Okay.
And I've been told this series is incredibly bingeable. Like,
Awesome. That's a nice compliment there.
mm-hmm. Like, it was a lot of fun to write. And, as I got to a point where, okay, this makes a book. This is either, 30 to 40 chapters and ends in a good place. That's a book. Edit it as a book and put it out and and release it as a book. But what went out on Patreon were the raw chapters. Very minimally edited, very rough. It was all rough because I was doing the process. The world building all happened in the Patreon. The character creation all happened in the Patreon. Everything happened in Patreon, including these raw chapters. And then before it went live as a book, it was formally edited and everything was, smoothed out. And it's like, oh, consistencies were fixed. I changed a character's name twice. That was fixed. Little things that crop up in fiction, like pet hairs, they get fixed, and then the book comes out. And that book, the first one, Written in Water, was a finalist for the Romance Writers of America major award, which the year it was entered was the Vivian. And if you know anything about the Romance Writers of America, you know that the Vivian only ever ran once. Because
Say that last bit again.
The Vivian Award only ever ran once.
Oh.
Because one of the books that won, the hero was a cavalry officer at Wounded Knee. And this was how dare, and honestly, they were right, but how dare somebody, how dare a book about genocide and excusing genocide win an award? How did nobody raise this problem? And that was a big, yeah. That was if you ever Google RWA and controversy for any time between 2019 and 2022, you'll get like 4 different answers, because the RWA was a hot mess then.
I've heard some things.
Yeah, you quite possibly have heard some things from me.
That's quite possible.
But I'm proud of that final. I'm proud of the fact that the book finaled, especially since it wasn't in the same category. But it finaled for speculative romance long, because there was long and short. So anything over, I think 60,000 words was long. Anything under was considered short. And I finaled. I did not win, and I don't remember who did at this point. It's been a minute. But I am proud of that final, even though that contest was so horribly tainted.
Yeah. That's hard. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's some conflicting emotions right there.
Yeah.
But so let's see. Yeah, so you've done quite a bit. Um, let's see. So I have put a couple of things in the chat, including your website.
Thank you.
No problem. Is just let me know if there's anything else you could think of. I could possibly put in the description or in the chat, and then we can go into that subject.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I mean, I'm going to be at Necro. Have a table in Author Alley.
Okay.
Well, I'll be there all weekend, and one of the panels that I proposed is going to be we're going to be doing. It's one that I did at the International Conference for the Fantastic and the Arts
Okay.
last March, and it's reinventing the night. It's reimagining the classic monsters to in the modern age.
Okay.
And how do we keep these monsters like Dracula, like Frankenstein, like how do we keep them current and and
Right.
relevant to a modern age without losing that connection to their roots?
That's very interesting because I know sometimes these characters will be revisited, often in a more modern context. Say the
It,
90s had some things going on, and
the same weekend as the convention,
mm-hmm.
Dracula Comedy of Terrors is going to be in on stage in Tampa.
Okay.
And I have seen footage of I've seen clips of this on TikTok. It
Okay.
looks hilarious, but
That sounds
it's a part of a subscription only package.
intriguing. Oh yeah.
I'm so annoyed. I want to see it.
Oh shoot. Yeah, I would know lots of people locally and other places who would be very interested in that. That's
Well,
for sure.
one of the other hats that I
Even
wear.
I'm intrigued, and I'm not much of a horror person,
Mhm.
although classic stuff.
Oh well,
Um,
I'm not a horror person, but vampires. I'm a vampire girly.
Gotcha.
One of the other hats that I wear is I'm the president of the Lord Riven Assembly, which studies vampire folklore and fiction and the history of vampires and how they're portrayed in pop culture and research.
Okay.
And
What's the name of this again?
that is the Lord Riven Assembly, and it's Riven is not spelled the way it sounds. It's
Like even though.
it Ruthven. It is Scottish.
Okay.
And we meet every year at the International Conference for the Fantastic and the Arts, and we give our awards then. Uh, and it's great fun. I love this group to bits, and we have um, we've had some great scholarship, some great stories, and the awards are awesome. The awards are just awesome. This past
Um,
year, we gave the Lord Riven Assembly the Lord Riven Award for fiction went to T. Kingfisher for What Feasts at Night. And what one? Oh, for nonfiction was the Palgrave Handbook of the Vampire, which you kind of have to get as an ebook because it's like 900 pages. But it's a
oh,
90, I
goodness.
think, 92, I want to say, separate articles studying vampires and how they're portrayed in culture and how they're portrayed in different cultures. And I love that we're not just looking at the Western view of vampires. We're looking at the African view or the the Japanese view, things like that, because there are vampire figures in all of these different cultures.
I have heard of this. There's actually a version of the Gleistig, Scottish, a green lady, for lack of a better word. That, can you tell I love British folklore. A version of the Gleistig who actually is a vampiric, but also is at the same time is kind of like a muse, like a inspiration for poets.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. But it's that's fascinating to me, because that can be so many different things. But that's quite common in British folklore. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is I've been working on my book a lot, so pardon.
All right. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? And I can't think of anything. I have written a book about vampires, a spicy romance about vampires, but it's not out yet.
How perfect. This is a great fit for you.
It's like when combining my worlds.
Yeah.
But then again, spicy vampires are so not hard, because there is so much sexual
You can work with
energy and sexual connotations to the vampiric legend, especially in the West.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
And if we want to talk about anything else, you need to stop me talking about vampires now.
Okay. I'll make a note of that. Let's see.
I know me. I will talk your ear off.
Yeah, and it's already almost 9, and we've been talking about that.
No, we were going to talk about this other thing, but we really spent the entire time talking about vampires, because why the heck
not? Yes, but my book it's a nonfiction book. I've probably mentioned it to you before. It kind of got pushed back because I was editing it, and I had to rework parts of it. Kind of still editing it a little bit. So I'm not sure I'm going to make my deadline of Necro weekend. It's fine. But it's called the Fairy. That's FAERIE.
Okay.
As in place, the Fairy Glossary and Guide for Writers.
Okay.
And so this might be a good segue, actually, because a portion of it in the guide portion, so it's not 2 halves, but it's because the sort of more guide portion is basically an expanded introduction, in a way, to the glossary, which is in no way comprehensive, because that would be there are over 1,000 different types of fairies just in Ireland, folks. So, no, it's not in any way comprehensive. It was,
Lord, no. I don't think you could write a single book.
A client magnet.
Yeah.
As you know, I'm an editor, so, and then it just kind of grew.
I am familiar with this book has gotten the bit in its teeth, and it's taken off on its own. I know this feeling.
And that kind of happened with my novel too. So, anywho, so a portion of the guide portion of that is about the language of fairy. In other words, how some things are a lot of the language around fairy tales anyway can be a little problematic and dark and scary and all of that stuff. But there's the other portion of that is using language say things that can be appropriated. So there's appropriation as part of it, and then the other part of it is also dealing with when you're creating characters who are based on some of these parts. Okay, starting over. Some of this folklore can be a little problematic, especially yes, very much so for some of these goblins. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of historically, for hundreds of years, problematic lore regarding goblins, as in that a lot of the folklore descriptions and even some visuals that were created in, I think, medieval times, if I'm remembering correctly, is just very anti-Semitic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so that's why I've stated in there that this is problematic. Please consider carefully the tropes, the types of races, for lack of a better word, that you choose to use. And the same thing for dwarfs or dwarves, however you want to call them. So, that can be problematic too, of course, because of real people who tend to have similar features. So there's that. So those are the two main points I had regarding that. So anyway, I thought that would be a nice little springboard into talking about this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, and
remind me, I have a book reference for you. If you're going to talk about fairy tales, I have a book reference for you. But let me not get us sidetracked.
Anyway, about that conference you mentioned. I think I've heard about it before. So
very large folklore track. You would love it. Why do I feel like I get your catnip?
Yes,
hold on. This is no longer
anything about fairy tales, folklore. I'm also quite the Anglophile, for lack of a better word.
Okay. We have Folklore 101. Whoops. Sorry, my camera's weird.
Okay,
and Fairy Tales 101. These are wonderful. And Dr. Gina Jorgensen wrote these two. And then there's Sex Education 101, which deals with sexual imagery in folklore. But she is a folklore professor.
Wow.
And she's a regular at ICFA. She's delightful. I love her so much.
You've definitely hit my sweet spot. Moving on. Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to force myself to move on. Because we could talk about this for hours, couldn't we?
Oh yeah.
Quite easily. Let's see. Trying to find my thing here. My post. Okay. So alrighty. Okay, so a couple of things here I mentioned in that in that post that I threw together is considering diversity and disability even in science fiction and fantasy. I had broken this down into 3 topics actually. So I have inclusion of women, LGBTQ+, disability, and/or POC characters. I also have in there that all of these can intersect.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything you specifically comes to mind about that?
Oh, specifically for writers, if you're going to write outside your experience.
For writers, for even say, we can even talk a little bit about, wow, it's nice that there is this character in this movie, if you would like.
Mm-hmm. Well, general advice for writers is if you're going to write, if you're going to write a character outside your experience, a sensitivity reader is your best friend. Period. Full stop. Yes, you do need it.
I say this so much.
My book that just came out, The Sea Prince, came out in June. The main character is a double amputee. I have no clue. But
right. But that didn't stop you from learning.
But it didn't stop me from writing it, and I actually worked with a sensitivity editor to work with the psychology, his reactions, the prosthesis he uses, and the reactions to the people around him. And the book came out in June. It's gotten some pretty good reviews. Nobody has said I've completely screwed anything up, so yay. And the book that I just finished last week is the sequel to that. So once I get done with my reread, which will happen in about a month once I forget what I wrote, then I'm going to send it back out to the sensitivity editor to make sure that, again, I have written this character appropriately for someone who has lost both of his legs. So yeah, if you're going to write outside your experience, a sensitivity editor is a necessity.
Yes, I've definitely said this a lot of times. I even but I did write a Substack post about that. I do believe that was early last year. It was either early last year or late the previous. And it just basically stated that and restated it in a different way. And then I did it again because, it's just basically do your research. And also sensitivity readers come in very handy. I know one. I know others who do it as well. Obviously.
But it is so important for other people to see themselves in their books.
Yes, absolutely.
And for people to be able to, the default for so many years has been, it's especially in science fiction has been about white men.
Yes.
Last time I checked, there are more than just white men. So,
yes.
But
keep going.
There was an episode of Deep Space Nine where Avery, the Captain Sisko ends up, back in like 1940s writing for the pulps. Did you see that one? It's like a time slip episode. He's not fully aware that he's like a starship captain or a space station captain, but he has visions of Deep Space Nine, and there's a picture of it.
I think I have seen this.
That one was so brilliantly done. It was so, and it highlighted the inequalities, especially in Golden Age science fiction, because you couldn't be a woman. You had to write under, either under a pseudonym or you had to write by your initials.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't be a person of color because how very dare you, desecrate this, this genre by, not being a white man.
So thank goodness.
Right now, it's we have to have.
She never used another name, right? Am I
Who?
wrong?
Who?
Ursula K. Le Guin?
Ursula Le Guin.
I don't think so.
As far as I know, Ursula Le Guin did not write
Under a pseudonym.
under a pen name.
Mm-hmm.
But C.L. Moore, who created Jirel Joiry, who was the precursor to Xena, who the strong female warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry Moore wrote under her initials.
Okay.
A.C. Crispin wrote under her initials.
Crispin, that sounds familiar.
A lot of the women who were involved in science fiction in the early days wrote under their initials or wrote under gender-neutral names.
Yeah.
Like Andre Norton.
Well, for lack of a better person to present that idea was obviously it starts with a J and then a K. So
Yeah,
I know
we're not talking about her.
But I guess she had to do it too. And that was the 90s. I have a book by Philippa Gregory.
Which
one?
I
did not know of it. I did not even know about this until I stumbled across it in a thrift store. I'm so sorry about my voice. One second.
Philippa Gregory can be a little loosey-goosey on her history.
It's amazing. And it's kind of like, it's got has many aspects of, it's very Tolkien-esque.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, why have I not heard about this? What?
I like Philippa Gregory. I like her books. Her history it needs to be taken with a grain of salt because she will shift things around to make it fit the narrative.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Well, I've only read the first one. I'm almost done.
The other Boleyn girl was the first one of hers that I read, and
am I remembering that wrong? Not Philippa Gregory.
Philippa Gregory writes mostly historical.
Fantasy lady. Oh no, I'm completely remembering the name wrong.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. It's a very similar name. Very similar name.
I am drawing a blank.
So,
there's too many people.
Never mind. Just ignore me.
Too many. Okay. But talking about diversity in science fiction, it's like we have always been here.
Yeah.
And having that seat at the table and being able to share our stories and portray ourselves in these books.
Yes.
That's important.
And why wouldn't it be important? To my mind.
Mm-hmm. And the same thing happens in romance.
All of the peoples of the world,
Yeah. In romance, it was a whole big thing when Helen Huang put out her first romance with an openly autistic main character. And it wasn't lampshaded. It wasn't, it wasn't soft. The character is autistic. And the entire plot of the book is she wants to understand relationships. So she hires someone to coach her.
Okay. This sounds vaguely familiar. What's this author's name again?
Helen Huang. It's I'm going to misspell it. Hoang. I think I'm misspelling it.
Okay.
And I feel terrible that I'm doing that.
I'm sure.
It's either Ho or Hu, and I cannot remember. I apologize.
I can just do a quick Google.
I think the title of it is The Kiss Quotient. I think.
Yes, it is. Helen, Huang, the kiss quotient. And there's more. Fascinating. I even popped a link in the chat. Anybody interested in that? So that sounds fascinating. So as a, to be honest, as a neurodivergent person, author, reader, that sounds fascinating to me. Okay.
But yeah, accurate portrayals of.
Let's see, accurate portrayals. Yeah, can you think of any accurate portrayals in media or in any other portrayals in books that you can think of that stand out to you? There are good examples. I mean, excuse me.
Accurate portrayals. I tend to have a lot of disability rep in my books. And
at least there's more of it, by the way, than there was 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, and characters who are allowed to be disabled and it's not magically cured by the end of the book, that bugs the hell out of me.
Or have a magical,
yes, it's magically cured. No.
Have a magical reason why. I mean, I kind of tried to do that, and I'm not sure it worked. Maybe, possibly. It kind of makes sense, but I digress.
But I'm trying to think other accurate portrayals in fiction. Trying to think. Nothing's happening.
Nothing's happening for me here.
It's an old Three Stooges bit. I'm trying to think and nothing's happening.
I thought about, like, the first thing I ever heard of, to be honest, was the first of Rick Riordan's books.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
I mean, okay, it's a kind of a magical reason why he's dyslexic.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of works, you know.
Yeah. I love Rick Riordan. I love the way he kind of end arounded Disney to get the queer representation in the books. Because you introduce Nico as 10 years old? And everybody gets invested in this kid. And then the next time you see him, he is 13, 14, and absolutely in love with Percy.
Okay.
And now there's an ongoing series right now that deals with Nico and his boyfriend, who's the son of Apollo.
Okay. I haven't read a whole bunch of these.
They were a hyperfixation in our house for a while. We have all of them. But you had, queer character in, who comes up through the Lightning Thief in or not comes up in the first series, and in the second series, the ones where they introduce the Romans, you have that queer character come back, and then there are more, and then that's where he meets the character who he eventually pairs off with. In the Egyptian series, these kids are biracial.
Okay.
Well, they are mixed race. In the Viking series, you have a genderqueer character.
Nice.
So Rick Riordan is wonderful for representation for disability rep and for queer representation.
And people of color.
And people of color, yes.
So that was great. And when I saw the first movie version of The Lightning Thief, at first I was like, but then I was like, but it worked in many ways.
The new series,
but the new series, I loved that.
And I love that I love that Rick Riordan is behind it. He is the showrunner.
Right.
And he is picking the characters.
It
so when people lost their minds over the fact that Annabeth is no longer this little blonde chick, he's like, no, I'm changing it. This is what I'm going to do. But then there's the same people who lost their minds with Amanda Sternberg in the Hunger Games, who actually looked like Rue, as she was described in the books.
I thought so. I was just blown away by all of the casting and the movie in general. But yeah, I thought that it did. They did very well with all of that. And
there's always going to be somebody who complains
when that came out. What's that?
There's always going to be somebody who complains loudly about how dare you make this character queer, black, brown.
There'll always be some.
And why did you do that? Because you're asking me that question.
Yeah. Like, how much time do you have on your hands? But anyway. But when the Hunger Games came out, the book the first time, and I first started hearing about it, I was like, that sounds, because I was trying to create a strong female character when I hadn't seen any before. When I saw that, I was like, okay, because it came out around the same time that I was just starting to try and create this character, and I was like, what? And when I finally got around to reading it, I read it in 2 days.
Now, the prototype in my head always for a strong female character is Alana of Trebond from the Lioness books by Tamora Pierce.
I am finally starting to read her stuff. It took me.
I am jealous because you are experiencing them for the first time.
Yeah,
they are one of my comfort reads. I will go back and reread them every so often,
because
they are old friends.
Awesome.
But
when did those start coming out? I can't remember offhand.
The 80s, I think. I remember I was still in. It may have been early 80s, I think, because I remember reading them when I was still in school.
I never heard about them. We're about the same age, so I never even heard about it.
But
I was also exceedingly busy in high school.
There are very few people that I will fangirl at, and I will get verklempt, and I will, I cannot believe I made it. And Tamora Pierce is one of them.
Yeah, the more and more I hear about Tamora Pierce, I need to. Sounds like I really need to absorb her writing. So.
The Lioness Quartet, Protector of the Small, the Calandry books. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's TBR.
Yeah, I'm adding to your to be read pile.
Yeah. Oh, I have a bookcase behind me. Oh, you can't see that. A bookcase behind me. And it's
my to be read pile is taller than I am.
This is my to be read pile. This bookcase behind me. Oh yeah, there's some things on the floor.
Yep. There's
library books
stack on the coffee table in the family room. There's the bookcase in the family room. There's another book in route because I just got the shipping notification. I do not need speed. I have a button somewhere that says I don't need speed reading classes. I need speed bookshelf building classes.
I like that. Very much, very much. I'm also going to go back to my notes / post here while I'm thinking about it.
Because I am all over the map. But
oh boy. So
I'm a polymath. I will talk happily about anything.
This is as well. This is me as well. Yeah, we talked about inclusion, representation / representation. I don't know why that's a second point. And then creating characters. But we kind of did that too, creating characters. And I said,
yeah.
So research, whatever type of writing you're doing, please do your research.
Yeah, and the thing to understand with characters, creating characters.
3, read.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely read. Definitely read. But the thing to understand, the thing to remember when you're creating characters is all characters have GMC. And I learned this in my first RWA meeting, and I had no idea why they were talking about trucks. But GMC is goals, motivation, and conflict.
Mm-hmm.
What do they want? Why do they want it? And what's getting in their way? If you answer those 3 questions, you're going to have something approaching a well-rounded character.
Yeah.
And there's an entire book on that subject called Goals, Motivation, and Conflict by, I think, Deanna Dixon. And I recommend that book for anyone who wants to write well-rounded characters, because it helps you figure out who your characters are.
Yep. So yes, I've heard about this quite a lot, and since I started reading more fiction and even trying to write it, and yes, highly recommend researching as much as you can about that, because you don't want a flat character, folks. You want a well-rounded character.
You want well-rounded characters. You want world building that is thicker than a coat of paint.
Yes. Unless you do way too much research like me, because they want that. And then
I do way too much research. I'm a research wonk. I love research. I spent, and I tell this story when I talk to kids, because my county will let me go in and will invite me to come in and talk to high school, middle school kids about being a working writer, because they trust me, and I have a couple of fans on the school board, and they think it's hilarious to have the spicy writer come in and talk to. Because I can cater. I used to teach. I can cater my talk to the age group I'm talking to.
That idea about you in the past, wondering because of that.
But I will tell them, it's like the importance of research. And there was one book that I was reading for a contest, and the woman, it was a contemporary romance set in Manhattan, and the woman walks out onto her penthouse balcony and looks out over the pitch black city. And I put that book down and I walked away from it. Because I grew up in Manhattan, and that city is never pitch black.
No. Oh my gosh. I was there once for like an extended weekend, or it was a long story, but essentially it is not pitch black.
No, it is never. It is a pitch black twice in my entire lifetime, and both times involved power failures. But I did for my show for Charlemagne's.
Oh shoot! I'm so sorry. If you're anywhere near, oh my gosh, I feel like God, but just anywhere near the center of town, for lack of a better word. I'm so sorry.
Midtown.
All of the billboards, and they're all now LED. And I tried walking down there.
Oh, Times Square. Times Square. You're thinking about Times Square. Times Square, which was not a place that you went when I lived there when I was a kid. You didn't go to Times Square. Times Square was all, adult theaters and, no, you don't go. Now it's a tourist trap. But when I was a kid, no, you don't go to Times Square. Not if you're. That was not a family place. But with talking about research
God, it
and
was like,
telling these
no.
kids about research, I tell them I did one for my Swords of Charlemagne series. I did 3 hours of research into Victorian train tables because I needed to know if there was a train that went from Aachen, Germany to Salzburg. Was it one train, or were they going to need to change? How many times were they going to change? And how long would this trip take in February of 1899? 3 hours of research for 3
Only
lines of
3?
text in the book. And I mentioned this, and I'm talking to a middle school English class. And I mentioned this, and it's like, okay, the train from Aachen, Germany to Salzburg, Austria. And this kid in the back of the room sits up and goes, trains? That was his hyperfixation. He knew exactly what train I was talking about. And that's why I do 3 hours of research for 3 lines of text. Because somebody is going to
know what you're talking about. So you better get it right for those folks.
Exactly.
And I can completely relate to this, by the way, because I do similar things for my character who is going there, to real places. So I had to research all those.
I just caught myself in a mistake.
So I now
3
have
years after I wrote a book,
of
I just caught the mistake in it.
Geography of the UK.
But yeah, 3 years after I wrote my weird Western, I caught a mistake in it because I was writing a synopsis for another weird Western. And I needed to know where the closest train station was to this particular town. And so I looked it up. I looked up the history of the rail in this particular area, and it didn't get there until 5 years after the story was set.
Oops.
Which is the same year as my other weird Western where I had them talking about going to San Antonio and getting on the train. The train didn't get to San Antonio until like 1875, I want to say.
Okay.
And the story was set in 1870. I was like, well, shit, I screwed that up. Pardon me.
That's right.
It's late. I can swear a little.
I'm not too worried.
We need a bleep.
Let's see. But yeah, I can completely relate to this. Completely.
So, nobody else is going to pick up on that. I picked up on, I just tripped over a mistake in my own research, and now I'm kind of going around.
Somebody probably might.
But yeah, but it's too late for me to fix it because the book's been out for 3 years.
Oh, well, was it self-published or?
It was self-published. I could go back in and fix it, but I think that would cause more trouble than it would, because will it break continuity in the story? How much am I going to have to change the story to get that one fact right?
Right. Yeah. And people.
They didn't end up taking the train anyway, so it's no big deal.
People make mistakes. Editors make mistakes. It happens.
Oh yeah.
I was editing my blog post. That's why I was listening to some of this time. Sorry, but I was like, no. Anyway. So yeah. Let's see. Is there anything you'd like to talk about in regards to all of this and your writing? Anything else that stands out in your mind right now?
With regards to with regards to diversity and disability, or with regards to just writing in general?
In regards to this topic, I guess, about
I will always do my best to adequately portray good representation. I do my research. I have my sensitivity readers. There are some stories that are not mine to tell. So I'm not going to write from the portrayal, from the point of view of another minority having the issues associated with that minority. That's not my story to tell.
Because I mean, there are different viewpoints about that. And just people just have their viewpoints. So if whether or not to have that, like say like you say, a viewpoint character, but you're not. Yeah, I know.
R.F. Kuang wrote a book called Yellowface.
What's that?
R.F. Kuang wrote a book called Yellowface.
Is that the author of that? I know.
R.F. Kuang just won the Hugo. No, wait, did she win for Babel? Or was that one? No, that was one of the ones that was disqualified because it was in China. But R.F. Kuang wrote Babel, which is amazing. Everybody should read it. But actually get the physical book because the Kindle does not give you the footnotes.
Angie?
Pardon me?
Yes, I found it. R.F. Kuang?
R.F. Kuang wrote a book called Yellowface.
Yeah. Yes.
Where, a woman steals a manuscript from, I believe it's her Chinese neighbor, and her Chinese neighbor dies. And publishes it, and everybody's going off about how wonderful this manuscript is, and how wonderful she's caught that and it's very much Great White Savior.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, this is the same person who wrote The Poppy War, which I have that as well.
Yes, and new book just came out. I think it was called Catabasis. It's in my TBR pile. I have to wait till I actually have a free brain.
Yeah, it does say 2025.
Yeah, it just came out, I think, last month. I think. Within the past couple of weeks, at least. There's been so many good books. So many.
It says genres: fantasy, dark academia, fiction, romance, historical fiction, adult, mythology. There's more genres that Goodreads has.
It's like a dark academia.
Interesting.
Orpheus and Eurydice. I can never remember how to say her name.
But fascinating. Okay. We have been talking for more than an hour and a half.
I told you, I will talk your ear off.
What's that?
I will talk your ear off. I will happily talk about anything and everything. It's why I always end up on so many panels at Necro. And then I think one year I was on 10 panels. And somewhere around
6, and I was like, I can't do this.
I somewhere
telling up Perry Buns.
Somewhere in the evening of Saturday, my voice came out.
Please talk me out of it.
Yeah, somewhere in the evening on Saturday, my voice gave out, and suddenly I was a bass.
That was me. That one year. This was a couple of years ago. It was the last year that Anne Morris.
It was fun. It was so much fun. I was so tired when I was done.
Oh my God! I drove home that year.
Mike drove home that day.
Anyway, so let's see. I don't know. Do you want to wrap it up? I know you don't really want to.
How long do these usually go? Or do you just go until it's finally?
Generally, I've been going for at least an hour, up to about this time, really.
Okay.
But with the people that I've interviewed for this so far, I'm including Deb Hicks and Perry Bruns and the wonderful Richard Lee Byers. last month, we just kept talking, all of us, including H. Gorlet Scott. She was my first one, but we had a lot of technical problems, and that's why I haven't really been promoting it too much. But anyway, we just did not want to stop talking. The Heathers, if you get Heathers together, it's a movie. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have to have a collection of Heathers this year. Take a picture or something. Anyway.
And hopefully it works out better than the movie or the play.
Okay. Wait a minute. Wait. Somebody popped in the chat. This is a friend of mine. His name is Andy, published with Andy. He's got a really cool channel. Let me tell you, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Elizabeth, this is my friend Andy. Andy, Elizabeth.
Hi, Andy.
How are you doing? And how late is it there? He's in the UK.
Oh,
This is late. Is it like...
No, it's the morning for them, isn't it?
10, 11, 12, 1, 2. It is 2:30 in the morning there? My goodness. What? Are you crazy? You just can't sleep. Really, really cool guy. And he has a lot of great information for especially first-time authors, which I need. Trying to learn as much as I can, obviously, about but this will just be really simple, what I have going on. So I'm just going to go with simple Kindle, not Kindle, but KDP publishing for this. This is going to be really short. So.
Mm-hmm. Also look into draft to digital. If you don't want to go wide, if you want to get your stuff in libraries.
You moved recently, kind of recently, Andy. Did I forget this?
Oh, he's in Canada. Eastern times.
Remember when I would get heartbroken or super excited? I'd be up at all hours of the night. Oh my gosh. Yes. Check out his channel sometime because I recommend it. Does updates sometimes on things like draft to digital or KP or just a variety of topics.
Right. If you don't intend to go into Kindle Unlimited, then I will publish KDP, and then I will put it also up in draft to digital, which gets it into Barnes and Noble and Apple and libraries and
yes.
I actually will put everything up through draft to digital first because I use their formatting tool to format my books.
Yeah, I've heard about this. So
I'm waiting.
I have 25.
I'm waiting to try Atticus until it's not quite so buggy, because I don't run a Mac, so I can't run Vellum.
Yeah.
But Atticus has been very buggy recently, and they're working on fixing it. And I'm waiting until they fix it, because it's supposed to be just as good as Vellum, for like a third of the price.
And they have they have PC that can't talk anymore. They're for PC and Mac as well.
Mm-hmm. They run on PC, Mac, and Linux.
Oh, interesting. That's good for for people who are beginning their own publishing houses and all that jazz.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah, but until that happens, I've been using the draft to digital formatting, and I like it rather a lot. They're a little bit limited on the chapter, like the decorations at the beginning of the chapter, but I mean, Written in Water was formatted in draft to digital.
Oh, okay.
So you have an example of what it would look like.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy, check it out.
And the cover was from Get Covers, which is
Oh,
wonderfully cheap.
really? I've heard of
Yes,
it.
I love.
Yeah, I do like the
I've
orientation.
done. They've done
Yeah.
all 7 of
It's just
the Heir to
even
the Firstborn.
no, that's not even a chapter title thing. Ornament. That was just I like the chapter title one though. That's really cool. Very pretty. I like that very much. Fantastical.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was starting to research that as well at one point. Yeah.
But Draft to Digital is very user friendly. I like them a lot, and Get Covers does really good covers. You got to give them some good direction, but they do really good covers.
Oh.
I've used them now 7, 8, 9,
Thanks,
9 or
Andy.
10, 9 or 10 covers.
Wow. Okay.
And $45 a cover, and Written in Water is one of those covers, so you see that example. Yeah, it's good covers, not going to break the bank. Highly recommend.
Okay. Yeah, I have somebody I'm working with for my cover. It's my friend I was talking about earlier, Miss Sako Toomey. Yeah. Who I do believe you met at Necro before, because she came down, and we were splitting. We've been sharing hotel room, and so very very talented lady. She does a lot of different things. She's I've seen her covers and different things that she does. She's a photographer, dancer, etc. Yeah, we're working together. I'm starting to see some things, so that gets you going. It's like I see elements, yay! but okay, well, thank you, Andy. It's so nice to see you.
Oh goodness, excuse me.
So yeah, and gosh. Necronomicon.
It's coming up. Yeah,
it's up.
Next, what? 4 weeks.
5 weeks.
4 weeks.
Well, it's today's. Let's see.
Today's the 22nd.
22nd. 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
5 weeks. That sounds.
I don't know. I have 3 shows back to back.
Oh boy.
I have the week before Necronomicon. I will be at Smut Lovers Conference here in Orlando. And then I will be at Necronomicon, and hopefully I will still have books. Or maybe not. Maybe I don't know if I'll still have books. I don't know.
No.
And then the week after that, the Oviedo Mall is having a writers' festival.
Oh, I saw that. Tempting.
And I'm going to be one of the attending authors there. So hopefully the extra books that I ordered will all get here before these happen.
And so yeah, I'm not 100% sure about my official launch date of that Saturday of Necronomicon at the moment. It was what I was working towards, but if I can't, it's fine, because life happens. I ended up having to take some time off of a couple of things over the summer, just due to being just having mom life happening, essentially.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It happens. And so yes, I will be at Necronomicon Tampa too. I'm going to be on multiple panels. I'm doing one of Perry's things that how do you know that thing? That sounds like a really cool
how do you
thing.
Yeah, I looked at that and I was like, there are too many choices. There are too many choices. It's like, how do you know that?
Yeah. Yeah. When I was talking, he and I were chatting back and forth about it, and I was like, well, tell me more about this, because I'm like, what do you want to know? of my professional career.
I
can
thought
tell
about
you
putting
about
in for that
grammar, but
I
the
thought
other
about
aspects
saying I'll do it, but then I was like, okay, so what would I talk about it? Because I'd have to pick one.
well, right. And so, yeah, he forced me to pick one too. And I said, fairies, fairy tales, UK. I'm a huge Peter Pan nut. He's like, Jack, okay, that works.
Have you listened to? Stephen Fry has a pair of podcasts from a few years ago. One is Victorian Secrets, and the other one is Edwardian Secrets. And there's one of the episodes of Edwardian Secrets has to do with Peter Pan.
Fascinating.
I'm listening to it now in the
I
car,
understand
and
where all this Peter Pan stuff comes from, and we can talk about that later. But synchronicities would be a better term to use, probably.
mm-hmm.
It's weird things. But so, are you going to do it?
How do you know that? I didn't put in for it. I could always check and see if he still needs somebody, but I hadn't put in for it.
You would probably jump at the chance if you reached out. Because I would love to talk to you more about that whole subject.
Oh, we've covered so much ground. I'm not sure which that whole subject you mean.
I'm fairies, fairy tales, and folklore.
Oh, folklore. Okay.
Folklore. How about just folklore as a broad subject matter?
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Good debate. Folklore. Who is a Gleistig? What's a Gleistig? Is it a vampire?
Just basically the way folklore informs culture. That's fascinating, and that's a large part of my world building is building the folklore to build the cultures. I mean, the first thing I wrote for Heir to the Firstborn was the creation myth.
I was wondering about that. I thought that was interesting. I loved reading the prologue. I was like, huh?
The creation myth is a free download, so you can find that on Amazon or Smashwords, anywhere you can, or itch.io. There's a link to that on my website. So you could go to basically any retailer and look it up, and that the creation myth is a free download.
Nice.
So, you can see, it's like, see where my madness has left me.
Nice.
But when we were still homeschooling, one of the things we did was we did a lot of watching Crash Course on YouTube, which is educational videos done,
I think
that was basically Hank and John Green.
Right.
And there was a Crash Course Mythology that was hosted by Mike Rugnetta. And I knew I had something, and we watched the entire thing. We watched the entire Crash Course Mythology as part of homeschooling.
Okay.
So when I wrote the creation myth, all of a sudden I realized that I was hearing it in my head in Mike Rugnetta's voice, and I knew I had something there.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of these too.
I think very highly of them, and when my son went to high school, after he homeschooled until 7th grade, went back to school for 7th grade, and then when he went to high school, they actually were using Crash Course in his history classes.
Oh wow, that's
because
great.
The quality of the scholarship was better than a lot of the school provided resources.
And here's the Crash Course.
Yes.
Apologies.
Definitely worth it. On all sorts of subjects. Just recently they started a botany series, and it's hosted by the Urban Forager.
That sounds familiar. Yes.
Yeah, I've heard her first name's Alexis. I cannot think of her last name, but her tagline on TikTok is "Happy snacking, don't die." I like her. I like her a lot. But she's hosting their botany um, uh, crash course series.
That's cool. Just looking at some notes I was taking. Okay. You know what? I think we might have reached a
We
certain
probably
point
have
where
not run
we're
out of things to talk about, but I think we have run out of endurance to talk.
and yeah, that too. Are we running out of steam?
I've caught myself yawning 3 times in the past 10 minutes. I think I'm running out of steam.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just finish this up by saying, number 1, thank you for coming. Number 2, Necronomicon Necronomicon Tampa is being held the weekend of September 26th through 28th of this year in Tampa, obviously, at the Embassy Suites, Tampa, USF. That is on the campus of USF. It's on the main campus there, near the entrance even. It's very easy to find.
Right near Busch Gardens.
It's also very near Busch Gardens, yes. And kind of close to where I used to live, actually, because I used to live over there several years ago. So Elizabeth talked about some panels, couple of panels that she's on. One thing I'm doing is I'm doing a writing workshop. And guess what it's going to be about. It is called
Berries.
3 Ways to Use Sensitivity when Creating Folklore-Based Science Fiction Fantasy Characters.
Did I put in to be on that one? I don't remember.
Possibly.
It sounds familiar. I may have put in to be on that one with you.
That would be wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I was just going to extend an invitation if you haven't.
I'll have to look at the schedule. I don't remember. I might have.
But definitely extending.
If I didn't, tell Rick to put me on it.
As I said earlier, and we keep talking about everybody that's going to be there. Again, it has a very literary bent. And number 1, number 2, it's as we said before, it's very chill and relaxed and atmosphere, and during the day it's very family friendly, and there will be some cosplay going on, and like we said before, Philk, and lots of other things going on. And there's gaming, some of which are family friendly, very family friendly. And because I've seen that library, and Chutes and Ladders was in that library. I saw it. Let's see, just so many things to do. It's a full weekend of a lot of really cool things going on. And the badges are very inexpensive. Currently, through the 31st of August, they're only $60. But starting on the 1st, they go to $70, and they will be that price at the door. So yeah, it's it's good value and all of that. So I think we're done. And the more I talk to everybody about it and have people on my channel, I'm getting more and more excited about it. And I still have some things to do, but yeah, I'm getting pretty excited. And I'm getting excited to see you, Elizabeth. And also, that's a good segue. Go ahead and you can do another outro.
I'm doing the outro. All right. Well, thank you for having me. This has been a lot of fun. We have meandered all over the conversation map, and it was a blast. So thank you for having me on, and I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming. So I'm Heather Dewey Pettit, and let's see. This should be Necro News Volume 5? Question mark. It might be. No, I think it's 5.
Volume.
And also to be continued. Like I said, sounds like I will be having Miss Terry Sears and Kat Heckenbach on the 1st, talking about the art show. And if we can get any other folks to come to talk about the art show on the 1st, that would be really great. We're working on it. So there's that. So yeah, and other things coming up include I will be doing a live stream on Tuesday for Heart Breathings. Actually, Elizabeth, I think you are a member of the Heart Breathings writing community on Facebook.
Sarah's group?
Yeah, Shannon's group.
Yeah.
I'm an admin and a streamer for Heart Breathings.
I did not know that.
I run sprints on currently just on Tuesdays. For a while there, I was doing it Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I've been kind of had a lot going on.
Okay, I did not know you were involved with Heart Breathing. Sarah's a doll.
So yeah, I'm an admin essentially, and so I run sprint streams, and so yeah, I've been doing that for a couple of years, and yeah, I'm currently doing just Tuesdays in September. So yeah, I'm doing that. I was doing Tuesdays and Thursdays for a couple of years. But so anyway, and then like I said, in September I've got a lot going on, including all this. I'm looking to have more streams than that for Necronomicon Tampa to promote it. Obviously, Necro News. So yes, things. I will see everybody soon, and thanks for watching, and see everybody later. Bye. Nice talking to you, Elizabeth.
It's good talking to you too.
But if you want to talk more afterwards, right. Bye.